is the world of the user. The user, or user experience design, and the user is right in the center of that world. In my work, I'm interested in how we connect with that user, how we get below the surface, drill through the core, and get to really what that user is all about. And in my opinion, empathy is one of the best tools that we have to get us there. Empathy, in the context of design, is about understanding the world from the user's perspective. It's about stepping into their shoes and putting on their glasses and their hat and feeling what it's like to be them, feeling what it's like to what they feel, rather. Each and every one of us in this room is hardwired up for empathy. We each have mirror neurons, which give us the ability to feel what others are feeling. So if I'm up here and I'm feeling some joy, that's great. You might be feeling that. If I'm feeling anxiety because my presentation is going off the rails, and if I fall off over here, you might start feeling that too. So let's get this presentation back on track. And what does design and empathy have to do with each other? Well, fundamentally, design creates, or empathy creates a bridge between the designer and the user. But even though we're all born with the empathic capacity, building that bridge takes a lot of effort, and getting up and over it takes a lot of energy. There's a lot of steps there. So what tools do we have to build empathy into our design practice? Well, one of the tools that we use at Make is an empathy map, and the empathy map forces us to consider how the user is thinking, what they're feeling, what are they hearing, what are they seeing, what are they saying, what are they doing, what are their pains, and what are their gains. There's a designer at IDEO who took this idea of feeling the user's pain to the next level and got his chest waxed here. Why? Because he was trying to understand not what some women have to deal with every day, but what it's like to be a burn victim, because he was working with burn victims on this particular project. So I think, let's see what the next slide is. I'm not suggesting we go out and we rip each other's chest hair off. For those that have chest hair, I have a lot to spare, so I'd volunteer first. But what I am suggesting is that we go out and we talk to users, we connect with them, we listen, we observe, and we ask them questions designed at getting to the core of what they think and what they feel, and ultimately what they're all about. This is some work we did with Foodie at Make. Foodie is an online ordering service that connects restaurants to offices. We talked to users, we talked to customers, but we became the user, and we went through that user journey over and over and over again to try to understand what it feels like to be a Foodie user, and to try to understand what that service really is all about, and see if we can improve it through design. When we take empathic insights, we can distill them down into various different ways. We have a tool here, personas. I'm sure you all know about these. The point I want to make here is that with personas, it's about going beyond user data and demographic information, which is important, but trying to get at goals and other deeper level stuff. When we talk to users, we often hear it's stressful. You know, I'm feeling stressed working with your website. Booking travel is stressful. This is a site that was designed not by me, but for Virgin America. They understood the stress the user was feeling, and they tried to create a design principle, which is one decision per page. Makes booking travel much more simple. A little bit cut off here, but this is one of my favorite sites. It's a government website. Government websites are supposed to suck. This one doesn't. The reason it doesn't suck, I think, is because it puts the user at the center of it. It's simple, it's user-centered, it's easy to navigate, answers that age-old question, what day do I take out my rubbish? You might be asking or thinking to yourself, aren't you just talking about good design? Isn't this just the same thing that Dieter Rams was talking about decades ago? Useful, honest, simple design. Yes, it is about good design, but I'm really interested in my practice in trying to orient the user at the center of this ecosystem, of putting these principles around the user, considering the different use cases, different users, and what their needs are. This is the update to the new Twitter app, and it allows users to put in alt tags for image content, and that allows people with visual impairment to experience that content more richly and more fully. So it's about thinking about the different types of users and what are their needs and what are their emotional needs. Love these sneakers. These are the new Nike Fly Ease sneakers. They got a very elegant design solution across the back. That zipper allows people with physical disabilities to put these shoes on very easily, even with one hand. And I think it's about thinking about their emotional needs here. These aren't just cool functional sneakers. They're Nike sneakers. They represent something emotionally for the user. In this case, this is a prosthetic limb, very similar to normal prosthetic limbs, except that this one has ports where you can plug in your Lego and you can play Lego with this thing. And I think it's really cool because it considers the user's emotional needs here. And it thinks about what they need: joy, delight. They want to have a bit of fun. 2 different design solutions. Packaging for arthritis medication. This one is a complete failure, and this one is much more successful. And I believe that the reason the Tylenol packaging is more successful is because it's really thought through what it's like to be an arthritic, or suffering from arthritis and trying to open medication, trying to open a bottle of pills here. This is the Q-Bot drum, and what it allows users to do is travel across distances with water by human power, and it solves a problem, and that is that I think it's thought about what that user experience is like to try to put water on your head with a jug and walk 10 kilometers. So I think that also empathy can extend beyond the human world and can extend into other worlds like the animal world. And this is a coat that you can put around your dog, and it wraps them tightly, and it calms them. And it soothes them. So I think this is about having empathy for dogs in this situation. The last example here, just gonna have a little bit of fun. That's a man's urinal right there with the fly on it. And I think this is a brilliant design solution, and the reason is because I just visited the KPU washrooms here, and there was pee all over the ground in the men's washroom. This particular design solution solves that, because if you give something for a man to aim at, he will aim at that. I'm taking a piss a little bit on that last example, but it's about thinking about that user and what are their needs, what are their emotional needs. Final slide, one thing I just want to leave you with is if we can embody empathy, as Susan said, and we can wrap our users in an empathic embrace like we did at the very beginning here. And I believe that's going to make us better designers and ultimately lead to better design solutions.